and Bets on the Mayo Media Network for January 4th, 2022. My name is Cecil Peters. You can find me on Twitter at CecPetes or on my website at cecilpeters.com. We have the biggest slate in quite some time today with 8 games currently scheduled. We do have some postponed games still on every single slate, but for the most part, a bulk of the games are going on as scheduled, so fingers crossed that we can keep that up, keep having games to bet on, and keep having games to make money on. Before we get started here, please give the show a thumbs up on YouTube or wherever you are listening and or watching. And if you are on YouTube, please leave a comment below on which game you agree or disagree with me the most on. Let's get started with the games. First one on the slate tonight is in Boston. We have the Boston Bruins, big home favorites, minus 270 against the New Jersey Devils. New Jersey plus 215 as I'm recording this the day before on DraftKings Sportsbook. Love New Jersey right now. They have a strong expected goals for metrics since in all their games post-Christmas. Beat a weak Buffalo team. They won a high-scoring game against Edmonton, and they beat out the strong Washington Capitals in overtime. 3 very different but equally impressive victories. Dougie Hamilton missed almost all the Washington game after being injured. Beating Boston if they don't have him in the lineup will be tough. As I'm recording this, I don't know if he is in or out, but I don't think I'm betting on this game regardless. Both teams are playing well, but Boston is the better team overall. They have recently moved winger Craig Smith up onto the top line instead of David Pastrnak. Pastrnak playing with Eric Holla and Taylor Hall on the second line. Brad Marchand still taking a ton of shots. Patrice Bergeron taking a ton of shots. And Taylor Hall is actually probably the best shot prop guy on the Boston Bruins right now. He's usually even money or a bit over for 2.5 shots, and he's shooting more than he has been all year on that new line. Next game of the night is in Columbus. The Columbus Blue Jackets plus 145. Tampa Bay's minus 180. Columbus had a really frustrating game last time out. Jumped into a 4-0 lead over the league's best team, the Carolina Hurricanes. Carolina stormed back, won the game 6-4. Tough loss for Columbus to swallow. I don't think they do bounce back here. I think Tampa's a slam dunk bet at minus 180. I do generally love Columbus at home. I love them as a home dog, but this isn't the time or the matchup. Tampa Bay dominated the New York Rangers for the last 2 games, in my opinion. They were just unable to get a win. Really great goaltending performance by Igor Shesterkin for the Rangers last time out, as he often does. They're going to make up for that in a big way here against Columbus. Merzlikins had a really bad outing coming in relief for Danil Tarasov in the last game. I don't love their goaltending right now. Tampa Bay's just firing a ton of shots. They're going to get at least 40 shots here, so I'm thinking any Tampa Bay shot prop you have available to you is a good bet. Braden Point's been hitting a bunch. Victor Hedman's been hitting a bunch. Steven Stamkos has been hitting a bunch. Andre Palat, if you have access to him, especially at 1.5 shots, has been hitting a bunch. All these Tampa guys taking a ton of shots. They're going to score a ton of goals here, making up for the shutout that they just received at the hands of the Rangers. Even at minus 180, I would bet that. I am actually going to bet them in regulation to get it closer to even money. Basically, my thought process is I think they should be minus 220 in this game. Minus 220 is not something I usually bet. I usually try to find an in-regulation number for that. But if you get a minus 180 team that you think should be minus 220, to get them to win in regulation is almost even money. So I'm getting almost even money on a team that I think should be minus 220. Great bet, one of the best bets of the night in my opinion. Next game I have no bets on, but it's going to be one of the most entertaining games on the slate. We have the Calgary Flames plus 110 in Florida. Florida Panthers home favorites at minus 135. Panthers just don't lose games at home. Calgary is a tougher opponent than they have faced in a while, especially as a road team. Teams just don't like playing against the Calgary Flames. They're tough to play against. They're in your face. It's not fun. Florida generally just plays high-paced, fast games. They're happy to trade chances with the opponents because they know that their high-end scoring talent is almost always better than the opponent's high-end scoring talent. Their depth scoring is usually better than your depth scoring. So Calgary's probably going to try to slow this game down. Whether or not they are successful, I'm not sure. I don't trust Calgary's secondary scoring to keep pace with Florida's. Calgary has a nice top line. They all have great finishing ability, but beyond that, not a lot of scoring potential for the Flames. So if the first line isn't going, it's tough for them to get wins. So with that said, I think the betting on here is completely fair. Florida favored minus 135. I do lean in that direction a little bit, but I am not betting on this hockey game. Next game of the night is in Detroit. 2 bad teams going at it. The line's even, minus 110 for San Jose, minus 110 for Detroit. San Jose's goaltending is horrible right now. The fluke James Reimer start, where he was incredible for almost 2 months, seems to be over. got lit up by the Arizona Coyotes, got lit up by the Pittsburgh Penguins. He's not playing very well right now. I don't know if he gets the start. I don't know that it matters. It's not like their other goalies are much better. Detroit, not an offensive juggernaut by any means, but they do have a few elite finishers, most notably the top line with Dylan Larkin, Lucas Raymond, and Tyler Bertuzzi. They should be able to pile up goals against the Sharks team, putting them firmly on my DraftKings radar as well. What I really love here in this game is not a bet on any team. It's the over. Over 6 right now is slight plus money as I record this. I'd be happy with over 6 up to probably minus 120. I just think that both of these teams do have the ability to score. San Jose scoring a ton lately. They scored 5 against Pittsburgh. They did end up winning a game against Arizona where they gave up 7 goals. So they're scoring a ton to make up for the goals against. I think that trend continues. San Jose and the overs are going to be a thing for a little bit here without getting the goaltending. Detroit can score. San Jose can score. I have no idea who's going to win, so we attack this game with betting over 6 goals. Next game of the night is in Chicago. Colorado heavy road favorites, minus 230 against the Blackhawks. Colorado finally seems to be about as healthy as they've been all year. They're in really good form. I think they're going to keep climbing up the standings and winning hockey games. Chicago has one chance to win this game, and his name is Marc-Andre Fleury. He gets 40 saves, maybe they can eke out a 2-1 win, but more than likely it's a blowout for the Colorado Avalanche. I do lean towards that way of the game going. I think Colorado is going to put up some goals here. As I mentioned kind of in the Tampa Bay game, I don't generally bet minus 230. I do have interest in betting Colorado to win in regulation. That's always the way that I lean when I'm betting on these teams with big numbers, but probably just a game I'll stay away from. Nathan MacKinnon, shot prop, hitting every night. It's usually set at 3.5. It's been minus 120 for a while. It's slowly inching towards minus 150, but he's been automatic. He's hit it in the first period a couple times. Nathan MacKinnon over 3.5 shots if you can find it. Another guy in the Avs who's playing really well, Mikko Rantanen. This line should dominate the Blackhawks in every single way. We just saw the Calgary Flames top line. Every single one of their players scored a goal against Chicago. Tkachuk had a ton of shots. Gaudreau was firing pucks. Big games for top lines against this team. Mikko Rantanen and Nathan MacKinnon should both take a ton of shots here. Both of them over 3.5 shots is very appealing to me. Next game of the night, Winnipeg minus 195 in Arizona plus 160. Take the over as soon as you hear this. Arizona has no goaltending, so Winnipeg should be able to put 3 or 4 goals up easily, maybe more. Winnipeg has the goaltending, but horrific defense, and Arizona's scoring is hot right now. Like I mentioned earlier, they scored 7 goals against San Jose in a losing effort. Before the break, they scored, I think, 6 against Anaheim, so they are scoring right now. Phil Kessel got 4 assists last game. He's piling up points. Clayton Keller's taking a ton of shots, getting points. Nick Schmaltz is getting points. Arizona's scoring's doing work right now. They don't have the goaltending or the defense to stop it the other way, but kind of like San Jose, they're a team that I'm going to ride as far as games playing to the over. You score goals, you give up goals, the games get really fast-paced. Winnipeg's a perfect opponent for that. Over 6 goals, even over 6.5, I think is a lock for this game. I just have my doubts that Arizona is the team that can take advantage of the Winnipeg Jets as far as winning the game. I do want to target Winnipeg as I think they're overrated, but Arizona just isn't the team for it. So I'm just going to bet the total. Clayton Keller over 2.5 shots also seems like a lock. He's been shooting way more without Jacob Chychrun in the lineup. Chychrun did practice the day before this game. I'm not sure if he's in or out. Regardless, I think Keller's going to keep up his shooting ways. So Keller over 2.5 almost seems like a lock to me. So Keller over in the 2.5 shots. The game total to go over 6. 2 great bets to keep this game quite entertaining to watch. Next game on the night is in Anaheim. Anaheim's minus 120, Phillies plus 100. As I'm recording this, there's COVID news breaking about the Anaheim Ducks. So if there is a game to get canceled, this is probably the one. Ryan Getzlaf in COVID protocol from the day before against Colorado. He entered the protocol just before that game. Trevor Zegras obviously has been in protocol for a while. I know the league has changed their rules for how long players have to be in the protocol. I'm not sure what Zegras' status is, but I know he's got to be close to that 5 or 6 day mark. So maybe he's out and is able to play in this game, but I do think he is probably a couple days away from that. So many unknowns mean the line's going to move all over the place. Some places might take this off the board for a while, but if you find Anaheim at any point close to even money, even plus money, bet them. Philadelphia's just not playing good right now. They are relatively healthy other than Sean Couturier being on the COVID list. Again, kind of like Zegras, maybe he's back for this game, which would change my opinion a bit, but still, their power play has been horrible. Their defense has been horrible. Their goaltending saved them early in this road trip, but it started to fall off. So Anaheim should win this game, regardless of who is in the lineup for them. Last game of the night is in Vegas. Nashville Predators plus 130. Vegas Golden Knights minus 160. I really like a lot about both of these teams. Nashville's been exceptional for the past month, save for a quick 2-game stretch without Captain Roman Josi in the lineup. Vegas at home's a really tough opponent. They've always been tough at home. They did lose last game to the Jets in overtime, a game, in my opinion, they absolutely deserve to win. But they don't have Robin Lehner playing, their usual starter. Laurent Brossoit has been in. He's been fine. But when I'm laying minus 160 on a favorite, I need your goaltender to be more than fine. So I don't think I'm betting anything in this game, aside from the Jonathan Marchessault shot prop. He's taken a ton of shots, clears 5 shots every night. His shot prop has recently moved from 2.5 to 3.5. I actually prefer that because he's clearing it no matter what. You get better odds on 3.5 shots. So Jonathan Marchessault, over shots on goal is the target for me here. Nashville's just playing really well. Plus 130 isn't enough for me to bet on them against Vegas in Vegas. But I do think that is probably the smart bet in this game, especially if UC Saros is in net for Nashville. He's been fantastic lately. That's the last game of the night. As for DraftKings, this is the first relatively large slate that we've seen in a while, with 8 games on the day. They're all in one slate. The offenses I'm most interested in here are Tampa Bay, Detroit, Colorado, and Arizona. Colorado and Winnipeg I would expect to be the most popular, with Detroit or with Boston likely up there as well. As for the bets, it's a bigger day for betting totals for me than usual. I've only bet about 6 or 7 of these all year, but I have 2 tonight: Winnipeg and Arizona over and San Jose Detroit over. Both of those are really appealing bets to me. Both of those are bets that I have made. Tampa Bay to win in regulation, Anaheim moneyline bet as well. For any other shot props that I find throughout the day or other bets that I find while researching the slate, I will post in my premium article on cecilpeters.com. Posted a few hours before the slate every day. Good chance while you're listening to this it is posted or soon to be posted. If you have any interest in that, please just message me on Twitter at @CecPetes and I will let you know how to get access. That is it for today, and we will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you for watching.